Amazing. Let me open up the slideshow. Yay!
Oh, you made slides.
We have to make a
It's like
PowerPoint.
six.
It's like a sheet and then a
It's
PowerPoint.
one of the components.
It won't be,
You have to
it
fill
won't
out
be
the
too
like
bad.
workshop thing. not
But it could be
workshop.
anything.
Any skill that you
Anything
want
that
to
you're good at, yeah. Or
Yeah.
you're knowledgeable about.
you do workout.
Okay, everyone, shh.
True.
Okay, amazing. Hi guys, thank you for coming today. So this is a part of our assignment on teaching a new skill. And today will be about me teaching you guys how to shoot on manual mode in your DSLR camera. So just a quick question, who here has Instagram? Yay! So most of you would, I assume, would want good content, good photo to be on your Instagram, right? So being able to shoot manual in photography and on your camera will help you to achieve this. And so the question would be, why should you choose manual? Why there's an automatic function on your camera? And my answer to that is because photography is a product of personal creativity, and with manual mode, it allows you to control a value, which is exposure, and that value greatly affects how your photograph will come out. And because of that, it allows you to control how your photo comes out and be more expressive to your creativity. So with that being said, we will look into how to control exposure. Oh, by the way, I took that photo as well.
Did you?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Where is it?
It's in Vietnam, Sapa. It's like a mountain.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
such a nice picture.
Thank you. And so exposure, there's three main components that I will be guiding you guys through today to understand, and we'll come to practice on it. So the first component that affects exposure is aperture. So this is a feature on the camera that will allow you to control the size of your lens opening. So controlling apertures mean that how much your lens will be open and closed, and the number will be represented in the format of f unit. So f over 1.2, f over 0.2, or f over 4, or it goes up like that, f over 12, 22. And the smaller the f-stop number, the more open is your lens. So let's say f over 1.2 is smaller than f over 22. So which means at f over 1.2, your lens will get much more light in it, and therefore your photo will be brighter than usual. And then the second elements that affect your exposure is shutter speed. So every digital camera has a shutter inside. So shutter speed is basically how long you can control the camera to open that shutter. And the longer the shutter open, the more lights will come in. So with this shutter speed, the measurement is described as fraction of seconds. So as you can see, if you're setting your shutter speed at 1 over 60, that means 1 over 60 of a second. And basically, the bigger the number is, the longer your shutter will be open inside your camera. And the longer it's open, the more light will come in as well. So with the shutter speed, the higher the number, the brighter your photo. This is in contrast with the aperture, where the lower your aperture, the brighter your photo. And then the last element that would affect it is ISO. So ISO means the sensitivity of the camera to light condition. So the higher your ISO is, the more sensitive your camera is to the low light conditions around it. So if you have a very well lit condition around you, you can just have a very low ISO, which is 100, is the lowest ISO level. But if you, let's say you're shooting in a dark environment and you want to control your exposure to fit that low light condition without using extra flash, and you can up your ISO level to 200 or maybe to 3000, 2006, stuff like that. But there's one thing about ISO is that if you're gonna up your ISO level, you're gonna have to sacrifice your photo granularity, which is the noise and the dot, the number of dot and blurry your photo will be. So just be careful with that. Some good cameras can afford to maintain a high quality photo without going too high on ISO level. So now that we understand the three elements that affect exposure, just go back aperture, the size of your lens opening, the shutter speed, and the ISO level. Let's practice. Amazing. So I got my camera today. Let's practice. I will demonstrate it first, and then we will take turn. I have a manual lens, we will take turn to understand how to lay out. So, for example, so one thing to notice first is there's a lot of different functions here, but what we want to do is open the camera, press on, and then switches to M, which is stand for manual, right? So let's try to control, let me try to show you. So let's say right now, I will try to set my ISO level at 100 because it's pretty well lit. And then I will have my aperture at 1.19. And then you can see here, this is for the shutter speed, okay? So right now it is a 1/6 of a second. That is a pretty long shutter speed, which means your photo will be very bright. You can adjust that by this handle right here. You can roll it down to 1/80 of a second. And what you want to do is you want to just hover over this button, and there will be a bar here that tells you whether this is too bright or not. So, for example, if I'm setting my shutter here at 1/1000 and I hover my finger here, and you see this little bar right here, that is your exposure. So let's say the bar right here is pointing at 0 and 1. Can you see it?
Yep.
The bar, the little bar, which means your exposure is okay. And you take a photo and it will come out like this. You can still see, some kind of photo quality. And let's say if you put your shutter too fast, which is too small of a fraction of a second. Let's say if I go back to 1/4000 of shutter speed, when I hover it over here, it will be lower than 1, almost -2 in terms of exposure. I will click the photo, and then the photo will come out very dark, right? So that's how the shutter control, how it opens. And now, once we understand the shutter, let's go back to a normal shutter speed. Let's say if you already maxed out your shutter, your shutter speed, which is 1/4000, the photo came out very dark. So an alternative that we talk about on low light condition is ISO. So now you can try, because you already maxed out your shutter speed, right? So you can just try to adjust your ISO, which is pressing here, and turn it up to, let's say, 640 ISO. This means your camera is now more sensitive, and then you can notice the bar at your exposure is now going up here, right? Which means that it's taking in more light right now, but it's not inside the camera.
So will that make it too bright?
Yeah, it will make it too bright. So let's control our ISO down a bit to 330. Yeah, right now it's at that limit. Now we're just gonna try to press it right there. And look, it's brighter there. Yeah, so that's how different element affects your exposure. And there's one more thing and it's called the aperture. This is the first element that we talk about. So right now I have this aperture plate here. Usually with a normal lens, you won't have these things because this is a manual lens, so it lets you to manually control your aperture. With a digital lens, you will be able to control it by pressing number. So for example, I have a very, very low number of f-stop, which is 1.9. It will give me a very high level of light coming in. If you can look through here, you can see that the bigger the circle, the more light will come in.
Yeah.
So when you choose your apertures, I didn't bring the other aperture lens plates here, but if you get to control the aperture digitally, you can up. So let's say if in here digitally increase this number to 2 or maybe even 13, this circle here will be smaller. And it will be go smaller, just like the circle here when you go to f stop number 17 or 22, which means less lights will be coming in, and your photo will come out darker.
But do you ever shoot that hard? You usually know, right?
Usually no. If I shoot, okay, one more thing about aperture that you have to understand is that it would affect your blurriness of the photo. So the bigger, the more open your aperture is, the more blurry the background of your photo. So let's say if you're taking a subject that you want to stand out from the background, your aperture would then prefer to be smaller. If you're taking like a very scenic scene,
Yeah, everything.
you have everything to be sharp, and you're gonna choose an aperture like this. In this case, to compensate for the less amount of light that comes in, you can then increase your shutter speed or increase the ISO. So manual photography is to play around, with the 3 elements and then try to create the best.
Oh, we got a photographer over here.
The best solution.
Yo, your
no.
phone is
But you can just turn it off.
Is this still recording?
That's good.
It's still recording.
Oh shit, it's not supposed to be not.
No, that's okay. Okay, so because my lens is I don't have the other place, so I asked Mira to help me. With
That's why you're here. I'm never this early.
with the different aperture. Yeah. So let's say if you let's say she's not in manual mode, so I'm gonna switch to manual mode.
It's the M guys.
M, right? And then if you look over here, sorry. Yeah. This is your ISO, you control it. This is the f-stop. You can go up to 18. Now let's try an example of shooting in f16. Oh, that's a flash. I shouldn't have flash on. Let's start with them. How do you stop it? Oh. Yeah, let me try.
I can do it now.
Yeah, you should go
Yeah.
through now.
No,
Come on, we.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Bright.
Too bright. That's true. So that's why we will lower our aperture. Our shutter speed to this much, and then I'll put back my ISO to 100. Okay. And okay, for example, with f16, I will take a photo. It will be like this,
Ooh.
right?
Ooh.
And then I will change my f down, which is my lens is now more open. And then I'll take another photo with the same ISO and the same shutter speed, with a different lower aperture. That will be too bright. You guys see that? So that's how the f affects your exposure as well. So now it's time to practice. Who wanna go first in terms of practice? Okay. So we can have Mira as our moderator here.
Oh yay!
No? Okay.
Find
Just a
out.
bit. Yeah.
Pictures.
Okay.
I see you.
So
Yeah.
just try to take a
I
photo
don't-
first right now and see how the photo comes out, and then you will maybe go up a bit. Yeah. Okay.
Why is it so blurry?
Maybe
Why is it so blurry?
yeah.
Because
Go
it's like
back.
you?
Okay.
Oh.
So if you look here, it
It's a nice lens.
Right, bro? That's crazy. I'm about to snap that. I haven't seen
there
it.
you go. It's clear now, and then you can try taking a photo by clicking it. Yeah. Do you want your photos to be brighter or
A little bit brighter.
a little brighter?